Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Money Mondays. We will get started here in just a moment as soon as we see some people popping on here. Looking forward to sharing with you quite a bit of information in a short period of time tonight. All right. Well, I know it's Monday evening and we had a big day of core things. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera on and get started. We do know we have some people that are going to be joining us late or watching the recording later. So let's just jump right in here. So what are we talking about tonight? We're talking about the core training. So Exit, of course, has great basic training for agents and some nice advanced training from time to time as well. I've been a part of the Brian Buffini program. I'm a certified mentor in that. But the program that really has lit a fire under me over the years is the founding, probably I'd say the founding philosophy of our office, which is the Core Training Incorporated. The Core Training is one of the most rigorous training programs in the country for real estate agents. The bar for their level 3 coaching, which is their highest level of coaching, is $10 million as a base production level a year to get into that coaching program. Took me years to be able to qualify for that top level program. And then also it's highly expensive. It's almost $3,000 a month, and it takes years to graduate from it. But I knew in my heart that I was not doing the best job as the coach of our office, of the agents that I coach at Exit, being hopefully a mentor to other people in the industry, if I wasn't really taking my business to the next level. And so when I signed up for the core training, the top level, my business had plateaued at $10 million a year. I felt like for a lot of the agents that I coached, they wanted, even if they were new agents, they wanted to see more out of me and more out of their long-term career goals. I wanted to be able to build a better team. So when I came into the core training program, which the reason why we're doing this tonight strategically is because we were, a lot of us, with Kendra Cook today. And then tomorrow we will be at least virtually with Rita Casey, who is the co-author of this book, The Roadmap to a Profitable $30 Million Real Estate Business. Rita was the co-founder of CORE along with Rick Ruby. Rick Ruby left Joe Stump's by referral only coaching program. If you've been around that, around the industry a long time, you'll recognize that. That was a pretty well-known and well-respected old school coaching program. He walked out of there the same day Brian Buffini and Rick Ruby as coaches the same day. So a lot of what the Buffini program has, and again, I am a certified mentor in that program, but a lot of what that program has is kind of like the basic outline of what CORE then took to the next level and really dug down into the meat and potatoes of how to run your agent business. And so tonight I'm going to dive into some of those key areas, where to find the forms, how to get more inspiration. I'm also going to talk about this playbook. So if you don't already have the roadmap to a profitable $30 million real estate business, you can only buy it from the Core Training's website. I will have a link to that for you tonight, along with this recording. And then there is this playbook that I bought at the beginning of CORE, just to kind of really get back into, the beginning of COVID, just to really get back into the Core Training, really dive deep. And all the manuals in here, all the graphs, all the charts, all the things that really broke down systems and built systems for me in my business, I have all of those in editable forms for you in the coaching blog. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now and just kind of walk you through some basics of it. So what is the Core Training? It is a set of systems for your real estate business. And one of the foundations of it is a power hour. Now, I did record Kendra's session today in full. It's an hour and 15-minute video that I posted to our private YouTube channel. It will be in our coaching blog, our office coaching blog, in Guide 24. So it is towards the bottom of all our different guides, but it is probably one of the most important guides. And it has, at this point, 9 posts. It will have a 10 posts, 10 different pieces to it by the end of the evening tonight. And that 10th one will be Kendra's video, which is an hour and 15 minutes long. There were nearly 24 of you at that lunch today. But I'm going to break down for you whether you came to that lunch or not, whether you know anything about Core or not, what it's done for my business. And it actually is directly reflective of what Exit Realty stands for as a company. And it's all about increasing your income. It's about reducing your costs. You don't hear that very much in this business, even though we each individually run a business. It also talks to you about building a team, improving your quality of life for you and your family. And that was what really attracted me to the Core training. Was number one, for me, I was looking to do a better job, not only in business, but in life, to increase my ability to give to charity, do nice events, really not have to sit there and buy leads anymore. And that was a huge change in my business. So one of the things that the Core training did for me, first of all, and if I'm just going to read to you right off of Guide 24, was creating a personal budget. What are my goals? Core training has created more millionaires since 2001 than any other coaching program. I say the 2 biggest changes in my life, in my real estate life, but also my personal life, were number 1, joining Exit Realty and becoming a part of the residual bonus system we all share and enjoy, because that's been an extra 6-figure a year income for me for the past decade. There's a little video called the 4-Minute Million. If you've never texted it yourself, this code, text 4MM, so the number 4 and then the letters MM to 85377, and you'll get this little video called the 4-Minute Million. And that's an old video from Exit. And I thought, boy, if I could ever do that in my business, that would be life-changing. And that happened in my business a couple of years ago. I hit that number and it was magic. The other piece of magic in my business, a lifesaver, was reading this book. Some of you have read the red book from another company that's kind of getting a little long in the tooth. This blue book is, no matter where you are in the business, whether you're a new agent, whether you are a 20-year, 30-year industry veteran, it's going to teach you how to better manage your real estate life, which means it's going to be better managing your personal life. I have, on these Project X Money Mondays sessions before, told you about my income and how it's changed over the years. I will give you just a quick outline of it. I don't think we need to really dive into it too deep, but I will validate this a little bit just by giving you my numbers, the same way that you can go into your numbers right through exitrealty.com. So I want to go and show this to you. You can always pull up every single year's production report right off of exitrealty.com and also the Exit Realty Connect app. And I want to show you where my business was before I joined Core. I had been an agent for already 12, 13 years by the time I joined Core. I would do well one year, not so well the next. But if you look at my agent report card from, say, 2014, I'm just going to pull a year out of my arsenal here. Made $146,000. Not bad, right? Pretty decent agent, 6-figure income. Here's the problem with that, though. I was spending $1,500 a month. That's $1,500 a month on Zillow leads, and then another $1,000 a month for Realtor.com leads. So that's what, $2,500 a month times 12 months. That's $30,000 a year. So 146 minus 30. Oh, but we're not done yet. Then I had billboards, bus benches, and a magazine ad that added another $2,500 to $3,000 a month, depending on the month. So let's just say 3. So that's 36,000 plus that 30. Well, now what are we at, guys? I have to use a calculator to do this. $66,000 before I ever even paid a tax bill, assuming I paid it. Guess what that is? I'm not even a 6-figure income earner. And at this point in 2014, I'd already been in the business since 1998. So good Lord, I was entering almost my 20th year in the business and I wasn't even making a 6-figure income. And I look on here, there's some of you that this is not your first career. There's at least 2 of us on here with law degrees. You know, I could be a lawyer, miserable maybe, but I could be a lawyer and be doing better than that. And that's before I even paid my taxes. And by the way, I was working 80, 90 hours a week. So something in my business had to change. And so, if I go back into my report card for last year, and some of you guys have seen this before, and you can call it a humble brag if you want. I really don't care, because I want to validate for you what has changed in my business. There's my business last year. You can see that number at the bottom, 477,000, and I will most likely beat that this year. I now work, as some of you know, not 80 hours a week, much less. I have a small, loyal team. We have a wonderful support staff at the office. My world has changed because of the core training. So what did they do? I don't think you need to sit here and hear me talk about numbers. I think you want to hear about the tools, right? Well, there are 4 basic tools and 2 philosophies. So the 2 philosophies are, number 1, power hour. I don't even need to tell you what a power hour is, because that's what we talk about constantly. You need to have an hour to 2 hours a day, blocked out for prospecting. So you can see my calendar right now. Here's my calendar for this week, guys. Every day, Monday through Friday, I've got 2 hours blocked for, what is it? Lead generation. It's my power hour. Just like we've been doing as an office, we've been doing the power hours that Eve put together for you. If you're not time blocking to generate new business, you are not going to be in business at the level you want to be, period. But then the bigger part of that is, okay, well, I'm sitting at my desk. Who am I supposed to call? How, what order, what's going on here? How do I build a database? That is all solved in one philosophy. That is the core realtor theme days. So what are core realtor theme days? Well, I have an article for you on it. I got a graphic. I got an article. If you type in core realtor theme days into Google and you click on images, the first thing that pops up is my blog, because this just isn't something, quite frankly, a lot of the level 3 graduates of core want to share, but I'm sharing with all of you because that is my right to do so. That is my agreement with core, that I can turn around and share this with all of you. So I wrote an article about it, and I've also put it in the coaching blog. Right in the coaching blog here, we talk about realtor theme days, but let me break them down for you real quick. And I want to also show you where these theme days live right in your calendar, the office calendar. So there's 5 days a week that we should be prospecting. I'm not going to ask you to do 7, 5 days. And here's how they break down. Top 50 VIPs on Monday. Who are your VIPs? People that are or should be sending you business. Friends, family, people in my world that maybe not necessarily are even my own clients, but they are people that know a lot of people, and they buy into, believe in me. And how are they going to be doing that? They do what? They get my invitations to what core calls leveraged events. Leveraged events. So leveraged events, that is what we do at the office. That was like the bike ride on Friday. That's the upcoming events that we have. That's been the coat drives, the canned food drives, the home buyer seminars, the home seller seminars, all the stuff we've done and continue to do monthly, those leveraged events. That's buy-in. And you can always be inviting people to the upcoming events. What do those calls look like? Well, guess what? I've got all the description and a video for all 5 days, but you start with Mondays. That's the easy day. Why is VIPs easy? Because you're talking to people that you already know. It's not cold calling. It's not people that are kind of just on the fence about who you are. These are your VIPs. And if you don't have VIPs yet, let's get a coaching group together. Let's get a coaching session together, whether it's one-on-one or in a small group, and let's help you build that VIP list. That's Mondays. Tuesdays, again, this is right here in your calendar. I put it at the 8 a.m. hour just so you can see it and be reminded of it. Core Realtor Theme Days. That is status calls on Tuesdays. That's your current clients. You're checking in with them because guess what? What are you trying to do? You're building referrals. Hopefully, you know already that when people are already showing, looking at properties with you as buyers, as sellers, their property's got a for sale sign in front of it. Guess what's happening? Especially even once they go under contract, they're talking to their friends, their neighbors, their coworkers about the process. It's when they're most actively talking about and engaged in the process. So why wouldn't you make sure they have what's called a wow experience? Kendra talked about the wow experience today. That's when you check in and say, hey, you know what? Property's not sold yet, but I'm going to do another open house, checking in with you. How are things going? Is there anything I can do better for you? in order to get this deal done. That has saved some of my seller and buyer reviews. It's given me more current client referrals, because if we are waiting until after this deal closes for people to start sending us referrals, what happens? Well, they close and maybe they don't love the place as much as they thought, or something, changes or breaks. And it's like, oh, wow, this was a lot of hassle and I still like the place, but they're not quite as engaged or as excited. So the status calls on Tuesday, and I break down all the different things that you can do. That is what you're going to do on Tuesdays. And then, yes, if they seem pretty happy, you're going to say, hey, if there's anybody else right now, I know you're talking to friends and family, and it's an exciting time. I would love to get their names and help them out too. That's Tuesdays. What's Wednesdays? This is your catch-all day for hot and cold leads. Now, what's a hot lead? What's a cold lead? Guess what? A hot lead is your stuff that you've got probably at the top of your inbox. That's the things that, the text messages, the Facebook messages, Instagrams, whatever it is, the phone calls that maybe you didn't get to it immediately in the first hour after it came in. I hope you did, but that's a catch-all day to remind you, oh my gosh, I've got to get in contact with these hot leads. But not just hot leads. What about cold leads? Old leads. Are you a one and done? Do you just talk to people one time, and if they don't instantly start opening up their home to you to do a market analysis, or maybe they got the market analysis and they didn't do anything after that, or that they got set up on a search, maybe you sent them Zen list and they never even opened the link. What happened? This is the day, Wednesday, to be following up with those people. All right. Thursday is the day for all of us that have been around a while in the business that we are probably the worst at and is the most important. Thursday is past clients. Every single person that's a past client of yours should be getting a regular call, text, invite to our events, a check-in on their birthday. Go look at their social media and see who's doing great, who needs a little extra hug, a little love. I have worked more on this day than any other day in my business, and it has changed my business. I get more past client referrals than ever before. I spend zero money on Zillow, zero money on Realtor.com, zero money on billboards, bus benches. When was the last time you saw me on a billboard? Years and years. And I'm making almost 5 times the money that I was making before, and I'm spending half of what I was before. We're going to go into those forms in a little bit so you can track that for yourself. Huge day for all of us. Thursday. Friday, I'm almost tempted to tell you, oh, that's your Freedom Fridays. I've tried to tweak the names a little bit. It is really in core it's called Business Builders. Who are the people that you don't yet know that are going to help you build your business? Kendra talked about it at lunch. The senior financial planners, or the certified financial planners, the probate attorneys, the estate attorneys, the divorce attorneys, the optometrist down the street that has 100 clients. I literally walked you through in this video right there on the Fridays how I built a relationship with the optometrist down the street, who, by the way, already had a realtor. But I wasn't going to let that stop me from building a relationship, because guess what? The current realtor she had eventually disappointed her, and now I'm her realtor. So that is the power of that. If you go back to the Thursday philosophy of past clients, the National Association of Realtors, year after year, the needle has barely moved when it says over 80% of people, when they close on their house, say, yeah, I'd use that My Realtor again. And less than 20% do. Year after year, that needle's always been that far apart. What happened? You know what happened? You didn't do anything after the closing. You got your check and you forgot about those clients. And I know some of you did, because I'm coaching some of you into more honest conversations. And I can even say right now, even with me working on that day, some of my past clients, I do a little bit better job with than others. I had one in the car tonight that I knew the animals' names. I knew the, what was going on at work. I did a pretty good job of checking in with them. And I had another one the other day that I'm like, what was their wife's name again? I can't remember this. That can't happen unless you are really going to sit there and go, well, I'm just going to spend all the money in the world on lead receiving, and then you know that your lead conversion rate is weak. So this is really, guys, no matter what you are doing in your business, this is what you need to follow. And if you need to take a day off, if you can already see there's 2 different things going on in my business that are going to interrupt that a little bit this week, it's okay. It's all right. but you've got to make that day up. You've got to double up the next day. You've got a time block for this stuff. So that is absolutely huge. Core Realtor theme days and the power hour are just absolutely massive in your business. How do you track this stuff? Well, I am glad you asked, because if you go into the core coaching guide 24 on our coaching blog, our private office coaching blog, all 4 key forms are here. And what I'm going to do tonight is I'm really going to dive into 2 of them more than anything else. So if you go into the coaching blog, you can just go straight into guide 24, and there they all are. Or the other option you have is you can go into files in the coaching blog. So if you go into files in the coaching blog, right up here at the top right-hand corner, there are files, and there's a lot. Okay, there's a lot, I know that. However, you can search by files, and there's going to be 4 big files for you, or 4 spreadsheets, really. These are Excel spreadsheets. You can open them up in Google Sheets. You can attach them to your phone. I have big dreams of someday having an app. But for now, let's just open them up, take a look at them. These are all downloadable. So the first one is the updated Realtor Greatness Tracker. Now, some of you have been around us a while and have recognized the original one, or actually downloaded this when I first sent it out. But the Realtor Greatness Tracker, oh, I got to open that up through my Google. Hold on one second. The Realtor Greatness Tracker is just a really easy way, quite frankly, to understand what you're actually doing in your business. So if you open this up, and again, you've got it right in you've got a download of it. Look what it does. It tracks, what was I doing today? Did I have any face-to-face, like I walked past someone in the grocery store and we had a conversation, or on the street that requires you to actually go leave your house? Break bread. You sat down, you had a coffee. Think about breaking bread. You had a coffee, you had a conversation. They've kind of loosened these rules up and said, okay, that actually could be a showing, a buyer consultation, a listing consultation, something where there is a seated face-to-face, even if it's on a Zoom, a conversation that's more than 5 minutes in length. And then they want to see your actual phone calls. Now, in our market and in my coaching spin on this, I think that a long text conversation back and forth that's actually reciprocated back and forth conversation does count as a phone call, because there are just some people that do not like the phone, will not pick up the phone, will send you to voicemail for eternity, and won't listen to their voicemails, or their voicemail is full. You all know people like that. Some of them have real estate licenses. But phone calls for some people are the only way you're going to get that true conversation going. And for other people, it's text. Either way, you got to track it. And their goal is to actually have 10 conversations a day. 10 conversations a day. Did you attend any events that day? Did you host any events that day? If your dance card, so to speak, is empty, because we've been hiding out during COVID, that is a problem. You have built-in events right through, hold on, my Alexa's talking, be quiet. You have built-in events right through the office, plus you've got your own things to do. If you go to a child's birthday party, a neighbor's housewarming, any engagements, bachelorettes, retirement parties, all of that counts as events. That is events. Videos. Are you sending personal videos for birthdays? That's a big one. All of these different reminders are right here in this updated greatness tracker. And so you can see that, there was me tracking what I was doing today. Did you get any leads? Did you get any listing contracts? Did you get any purchase agreements? All that stuff is tracked right there. If you're really honest with yourself and you do this, you'll figure out that you're not prospecting enough. And in the vast majority of cases, there's really only 2 issues for realtors. Either I'm not prospecting enough, or I'm not converting enough of what I'm prospecting, which means I'm not following up enough. And the great problem to have, obviously, is on the opposite end of that is, well, I've got so many leads, I just can't service them all. That's when you build a team. This is not a team building session, because that's a whole different training. And I'm happy to have that with you again, because Core really helped me build that up. That's the Realtor Greatness Tracker. We're gonna have time for questions at the end. I want to get through all 4 of these forms before we do. So that's the Greatness Tracker. Then there is the lead tracker. So I'm going to do these in order. The next one is the lead tracker. So the lead tracker, that's never been updated. It's been the same. The lead tracker, I'm going to open that up. And you will have to excuse that. You can hear in the background my stocks talking to me. All right, lead tracker. All right, so then you can see, let me get the updated, the actual blank one, because there's a bunch of ones that I've gotten from some of you over the years, other ones that it's just the blank one. I'm going to go all the way back on this. You have the actual version in your coaching blog, but I don't want to open that from there right now. I want to actually get into this. Sorry, guys. I just got to get one more thing here. There we go. All right. So the lead tracker, again, it's never changed. It's by the month. And that is every single person that comes in to you as a lead. And we're going to code them. All right. We're going to code them. And by the way, I do have longer versions of videos on each one of these, as does Core. I did put a link to the Core Training YouTube channel, which has a great amount of content. Obviously, we're going to be with Rita tomorrow. And then a lot of this is broken down in the book as well. And I'm happy to go over specific forms time and again with you. The lead tracker is fascinating to me because it really figures out, okay, if I was truly doing my greatness tracker and prospecting, if I was really doing it and having those conversations, I know I'll get at least some leads. The goal is up to 50 a month. The lead tracker is a 25 person lead tracker, 25 lead tracker. Where do they come from? You've got a name, and then you've got what's called a code. So the code is PCR. I'm going to type these out for you just so you can see them on the screen. Past client referral. So that is a referral from a past client. What is a PC? A past client. So that's those people that on Thursdays you're talking to, right? They should be sending you referrals, and they should be referrals of themselves. They should be using you again, right? What's a PF? That is a personal friend. So that's someone that hasn't already bought through you. That's a personal friend. That's somebody in your sphere. We also call that sphere of influence, SOI. What is a realtor? Uh-oh, hope you know. But that stands for in Core, realtor referral, because you should be working your natural network on LinkedIn. By the way, our next Money Mondays is going to be on LinkedIn, how to work LinkedIn better. Realtor referrals. Now, they're probably not going to be the realtor down the street, because why would they give you a lead instead of servicing it themselves? But realtors across the country, across the US and Canada, this is an international company. We're at an exit. It's a pretty strong referral network. And by the way, referrals can come from people of any brand. I have a wonderful agent at Remax downstate that sends me leads. I have an owner of a small independent brokerage downstate that just sent me a listing. You can network with people all over everywhere, but you should be getting realtor referrals. All right. Then there's ads. What are ads? Well, in the Core world, ads are anything that has a cost to it that's not a realtor referral. So if you're paying for Zillow leads, if you are paying for, well, we don't use them anymore, but Market Leader, some of you were paying for leads from them. And that was a kind of a mistake for a while for a lot of people. I shouldn't see a lot of ad stuff for you guys. Some of us will, at this point, be moving. I don't know whose lead tracker this was, but they were spending some money with Market Leader and they were not converting the leads. So ads are anything with an advertisement budget. So billboards, bus benches, Zillow, you know, any of that kind of stuff that you're spending money and it's not a referral fee. Business, that is your business contacts, people that are sending you leads in, I don't want to say in bulk, but multiple leads. That could be coming from the VIP business builders, but that is your business people that are sending you leads, okay? Business people. Well, what is builder then? That's builders. Like if you were representing a subdivision, how often do you see that? That's just not really one we're going to probably use a lot, but I just want you to be aware of it. That is builder leads. So that is leads coming from a builder. If you're sitting on a builder web, it just doesn't happen because there's just not a lot of new construction right now. But here's what does happen a lot. CCR, current client referral, current client referral. That is, that's such a great part of the business. If you ask for it. What did Kendra say today at lunch? If you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. That is just bar none. That's a big, big piece of cores. It's like, you got to ask to receive. You can't, people are not psychic. People are not, Kendra said a fascinating stat today. 40% of the workforce does not own a business, does not generate leads, is not in a sales position, which means what? They don't know what we know you have to do in business because they're not in that type of position. So if they're not in that type of position, what happens then? They're never going to give you business unless you ask for it because they don't understand how our business works. I hope that makes sense. So that's the lead tracker. Not too hard, very helpful to figure out where you need to spend money, where you need to cut expenses, where you need to spend time, and where you need to stop spending time. Because if we're going to also talk about business plans again, because it's almost halfway through the year, if you can believe it, I want to see what you've done in your business plans. Some of you are newer and don't have a business plan or need to update it. We're going to start talking about in that business plan, what did you say you're going to do that you didn't? Or what did you do that isn't working? If that lead tracker is filled with leads from one source, but you've been focusing on another source, what do you need to do? Cut out the stuff that's not working. So we just mentioned the word cost and spending money. That means we should be talking about the profit and loss statement. All right, the profit and loss statement. So the realtor profit and loss statement was an eye-opening thing to me because it just really showed me that I didn't really know where my money was coming in or out at all. So let me, it's actually called an agent profit and loss statement. So this is that is actually not the right one, but I'm going to go through it. It's the basic one that I can show you. Not 100% sure I like this one. It is, you've got the blank version of this. This was just one that I started and I don't think I finished, to be honest with you, for a certain month, but it's again by month. And then it breaks down expenses. Now, what are office expenses? That for you as an agent is going to be the expenses that you have that are recurring. And I would love to at some point change that word because I think that sticks in people's mind. They're like, office. Well, our office doesn't charge you anything. Only when you have a deal and you're not capped out yet. But you have permanent expenses. So one of my permanent expenses was and it's just a different number now because I'm on a maintenance contract with them. Core training, $2,750 a month. That was a lot, but I wanted to get through the program and turn around and be able to show it to you. So that was a recurring expense. A team's going to have wage expenses. Probably most people that aren't with a team that don't have their first hire, which Kendra talked about hires today. If you don't have at least 4 deals a month, you shouldn't be hiring people to be on your team, but there's expenses to that. Miscellaneous expenses are not recurring consistent dollar amounts over and over, the same amount charged on your card every month. That's going to be things like virtual tours. If you're spending money on Instagram to promote your listings, things that are just like when I need it, I use it. Postage, RSP Pro for just sold cards. That's why I wanted to open up a different one of these because I think my 2021 was more accurate to today's business for me. But then there are the things that are called personal expenses. Now, well, there's reoccurring charges on here, right? You can tell this is an old one because this is back when I had my old truck and I still owed a big payment on every month. That's recurring, right? That shouldn't that have been up on the top in office expenses? No, it shouldn't. You know why? Because that's actually a personal expense that may be charged to my business. But if I ever tried to sell my business, would someone want the truck too? Would someone be using gas and parking in my parking spot and using my cell phone? Probably not. And the Ubers that I charge to the business? Probably not. So those are the things that you do want to separate out, even though they're being charged probably to your business and then you're taking them off your taxes. You want to be aware, just for your own knowledge, of what's a true business expense that is recurring or one at a time versus the things that we put on there, like, emblem shirts that say exit or wherever that, maybe uniform. Talk to your CPA, but that's not something that's going to transfer if you ever were to sell your business. So we want you to kind of start thinking about that type of stuff too. So that's the left-hand side. That's the expenses. Those, of course, add up. Then there's revenue. Section 2, this is really built as if you're a big team, which is why I like it. Gives you dreams for expansion. Where does it says referral fees? I added in the word residuals. You know why? Because all of us are capable of having residuals, whether we have referral fees or not that month. So I didn't have any referral fees that month, but I did have $17,000 in residuals. It was a great month for residuals. So there's that. That is my non-commission income. So because referrals are commission in most cases, in all cases actually, but residuals are not. Those are taxed separately. They come as a separate, for those of you that don't have them yet, I want to help you on that, but those come as their own separate tax 1099 form from Exit Realty Corporate, because the sponsorships are actually paid by me out of my residual, out of my revenue of the office, and then they are spit back out to you individually by corporate. And then that way they're not referrals, and you can be licensed in one state and get residual bonuses all across the US and Canada from any exit agent you sponsored in. But you guys probably already know that stuff. What you don't maybe know that you should be tracking is this personal revenue, profit and loss, personal revenue. That's from your pay log. Your pay log is a breakdown of your deals for the month. Now you get a report card from Exit, and you also get a transaction by transaction breakdown on every deal. So you need to be tracking not only where your leads come in, but on the pay log, what deals you're actually closing. How much did you make on that deal? Where did the deal come from? Because if you're getting some big deals out of one source and then some little deals out of another source, we need to figure out what's going best. And are you actually trending up or down in your revenue per unit? What is revenue per unit? That's your total revenue for the month divided by the number of units. If you say you want to have a higher price point and that number is actually going down, we got to go back to the business plan and strategize. So that's that pay log component. And then of course you're going to add up income. For some people, you're like, that's pretty easy to do. And then for other people, you're like, well, I've never seen this before. And then you're going to subtract expenses. And then guess what? That's what you grossed. But for any of us that are really transparent, that have been around a while and have done well 1 year after not doing well for 2 or 3 years, what happens? We've forgotten how to save money for Uncle Sam. And then you get all kinds of a world of hurt if you're playing around with Uncle Sam. Be very careful. So the core training knows that and says to you, please be careful. Put at least 25% into a separate account before you start spending everything. So then that way you've got the money to do your quarterly taxes, your estimated taxes. At the end of the year, you're not hit with massive surprises and going on a payment plan or something awful with the IRS, because I have unfortunately over the years done all of that bad stuff and really suffered from it. So there's a line item built in right there to say, no, that's not your take home yet. There's your take home after your 25%. I'm not going to go into the taxable income stuff because that's a little advanced for this. I really want us to focus on the lead tracker, the greatness tracker, the profit and loss. And then I'm going to go into quickly personal budget. Oh my gosh. Yes, I said those dirty words, personal budget. The reason why I say that is that the core training, why I liked them, is it really did dive into what exactly things should look like in your world. Are you saving any money? Are you not saving any money? I can't remember the last time that I heard outside of the core training, a coaching program that actually said, did you put any money away? Did you save any money this month? Let me blow this up a little bit so you can see this more. I would love to have us do this kind of stuff. As much as we sit there and talk about vision boards and that, it's also, where's the mechanics of it? Where's the tracking of it? Do you even know what your base monthly nut is? In other words, what do you owe? Your house payment, your car payment, student loans, credit cards, utilities, all this stuff's been going up, dry cleaning, yard maintenance, or that, condo dues, all this stuff that we seem to forget. It's so sad to me to see realtors struggle, particularly when that's actually making money. And here down at the bottom, giving, spending money. So your petty cash, so to speak, but the giving money. Did you give any money to charity? Are you thinking about it this month? And did you give any money to your retirement? I really love this part because I was so bad at this myself. And now they allow you to put the exit realty residual bonuses that again come from corporate. They can go directly into your SEP IRA, money market account, 401k. Take that money, those residual bonuses, and hide them from yourself, because I know it's tough to not spend the commission, especially when you've not been making all the money that you wanted to yet and you got bills to pay. Separate that stuff out. I have done that since July 1st of 2020. I put every single residual dime I get into a Fidelity account. I cut up the debit card. I cut up the checkbook. I can't move that money out of there without literally a physical phone call or a visit to Fidelity to get that money. And so that means that money sits there and it's building and building. And I don't care whether you have one recruit and you get $40 because they did a $400 lease, or whether you've got 30, 40 people and you're making six figures year after year in residual bonuses. You need to hide that money from yourself, because that is a lot easier than saying, okay, here's all my bills for the month. Here's what I paid for the month. And then, oh yeah, wait, there's not that much left to save. And my car needed maintenance. There's the $500 I was going to budget for saving. So that's why I believe that Exit Realty and Core are such incredible fits, because Core is the only coaching program for real estate agents that focuses on, are you giving money to charity? Are you saving money for yourself? How will you do that? And here's Exit with 10% residual bonuses. Core's teaching you how to build a team, how to get enough leads to finally afford to and need a team. And here's Exit saying, well, what's the best place what's the best way to build a team? Bring them from another company and they get the residual bonuses. I'm living proof of this. And there's some of you right on this Zoom tonight, I'm looking at the names here, that are starting to build or are truly building it. We've got multiple people making over 100% commission. This is the only company and the only office of Exit, quite frankly. I hope we don't have any guests from somewhere else that'll get offended, that is capping people out, bumping your split up to 80, then 85% after you cap, taking you to 100% any year you cap. You got 10% residual bonuses. You have more tools, technology, training, coaching than any other Exit office I know of. There's no reason why you can't bring a couple people on board here. There are people making nothing at other companies that have no tools, no training. And, we're not perfect either, but I will tell you, you are majorly missing out if you're not spreading the word a little bit. You don't have to sell them on Exit. Just get them into a meeting with me. I will sell them on Exit, because I'm the one that every day literally wakes up and goes, how can this be better? How can we make this better? So let me do the heavy lifting for you. You need to do the heavy lifting on your business, because I can't make these phone calls for you. I can't do the lead tracker for you. I can give you Wise Agent as a CRM, but if this sucker's empty, if you have not turned this on, if you don't have it synced up, if you're not using all the tools of Exit, if you're not using Wise Agent and Zenlist, I can go into our tools all night. This is not Find Out Friday, but it frustrates me when I see you not using your tools, not inviting people to the event and the events out there, and not tracking what you're doing. I cannot help you in a coaching session if we don't have a business plan put together and I don't truly know whether you are following that business plan. If you're honest with me and tell me, Nick, I have no idea what any of this stuff is, let's start over. I am more than happy to hit the Control-Alt-Delete with you, no shade, no upsetment, and go, okay, let's start over. Here's what Zenlist is. Here's what Wise Agent is. Here's what the Exit digital buyer and seller presentations are. Let's do a business plan. Let's do a bio. And if there's a couple of you on here that want to do it together, the more the merrier, because it's less intimidating to maybe admit to me that you need a redo, a restart. but I cannot help you if you're not honest with me. If you BS me, we're not going to get anywhere. And if you truly put your head in the sand and go, there's too many tools, he talks too much, I don't want to talk to the staff about it, we can't help you. Eve is having a wonderful sales meeting. Eve's really kind of taking you in an extra direction by saying, here's more than just Nick's coaching. Here's more than Money Mondays and Project X. Here's some personal attention. Come to the sales meeting. Go to the Zoom tomorrow at 11:30 and get some goodness from Rita Casey from this book. Download the forms. Start playing around with them. If you've got questions on them, I'm here to help. This is the system that has changed my life. Exit Realty's residual system. We're all at the same company, so I'm assuming you buy into that. You got to buy into Core, guys. Please trust me. I did Buffini. I liked it. It was very nice. It's a very pretty picture. I need structure. I need a roadmap. This is the only roadmap that I found that worked. You can script yourself to death, but are you going to really sit there and track your business? This is the program for you. And again, it's free because I'm doing all of it with you, and I'm in the coaching program paying for the stuff so that you've got any updates to it every time they happen. That was a long-winded talk from me. I would love to see what questions you have about these forms, core training, the impact on my business, questions. Did everyone pass out? Okay.
It's a testament of how well you explained everything, Nick.
I'm kind of in shock. Actually, this is like, thank you. I will, here's what I'll do, because I'm not 100% sure that I believe that there should be no questions. I think you all need to download the forms. I think you need to download the forms and start playing with them a little bit, for lack of a better term. And may I make a suggestion? Start with the greatness tracker, because you're going to have to sit in front of that thing and go, who am I calling? And it forces me to realize I'm not touching. I get comfortable talking to the same people over and over again. And one more word of advice: it cannot be people that you're already talking to about an existing deal. So, without a huge amount of questions tonight, I am going to say a couple of things again. If you go into Power Hour with the intent that it's really there to start putting out fires, what you're doing is you're just watering the dumpster. You're not building new business. Power Hour is there to build new business and create more referrals, not service your existing clients and putting out fires. Because if I honestly opened up this phone at 8:39 in the morning and started putting out fires, I wouldn't have any new clients, because that's how we all get caught in that trap. Well, I worked all day. Oh my God, I'm so tired. Yes, you probably are tired, but those fires could have waited an hour, 2 hours while you actually prospected for new business. Then go put the dumpster out, because it will be on fire every day. Family, friends, there's so many dumpster fires out there in the world, and you can get caught up in them. You have to focus on new business. Otherwise, you will be in the same yo-yo that I was in for especially the first decade in my business. At least I got to exit, figured out how to use a CRM, got some decent training, and kind of was, you saw me, 144 gross isn't even 100 net when you're spending 30 grand on stupid stuff and another 36 grand on even stupider stuff that's not making you any money. So you've got to do the greatness tracker, and then you've got to do the lead tracker to figure out who's actually getting, where are you getting the leads? Where are you getting the leads? Where are you spending the money? Where are you putting the money away? So I really appreciate you guys being here tonight, but you've got to download the forms, because then what I'll do is I will have a follow-up session, literally, where I'm just like, what are your questions on the forms? Because I think tonight for most of you, they're a little new, or they're very new, and you can see them on my screen, but you haven't tried to fill them out yet. Start to fill them out. You will be shocked at what you really realize. These are not hard. These are 4 little spreadsheets. you'll figure out very quickly where you need to go and how I can help you. I hope you will take that time, please. Anything else for today?
Nick, it's Edna. Where did you say you find those forums at?
Okay, no problem. You go into our coaching blog. So if you go into the teamlibert.com, someday I'll rebrand it to Project X, just haven't gotten around to it yet. You go into the coaching blog and then you go into guides.
Oh, okay.
It's guide 24, all the way down towards the bottom. Just go straight to core coaching, guide 24. And then there's all those forms right in there. You can download them and then open them up in Google Sheets. You can open them up in, I have a Mac at home. This is the Mac that I use for all my Zooms and everything. I download it to my Mac, but then I open it up in Google Sheets. So that way they can live on my phone and everywhere else. If you've got a PC, they'll open right up in Excel too. So either one they work on. And then again, also, in addition to being right there, they're also in files in the coaching blog, but they're just not, well, there's no way to organize the files. That's the one thing about this little mechanism I use for coaching, the coaching blog. The files can't be organized really that well. So you just go straight into the guide, and it's guide 24 again. Guide 24 is the core coaching. And you will also see shortly Kendra's video from today. If you were at the lunch, you got a great lunch. I'm also getting the slides because the slides were hard to read and you can't really even see them in the video. So I got a connection. I got a guy, and we're going to have those slides for you, and they'll be literally right beneath the video.
Thank you, Nick.
Absolutely. Thank you. Anything else, guys? This session has been recorded. This session will be in the core coaching guide 24, and I will also send it out to the office. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate you being here. Please, 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 let's soak up core and hold each other accountable. I'm here to help. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.